Draft, one that the state of Maine will certainly remember for quite some time. Hello, everybody. We've been waiting for this, haven't we? I'm Lee Goldberg, and thank you for joining us on News Center Maine Plus. You found us. That's the first trick. And we appreciate you downloading the app on one of your devices and that you're going to watch with us. So the Dallas Mavericks have the #1 pick as of now, 7 o'clock. Draft's not till 8. Maybe the Celtics. I won't even go there. Newport native Cooper Flagg has been projected to be the first pick for years now. So, yep, a kid from Maine is the top basketball player in the entire world right now, and NBA teams have been hoping to capture that flag. Now, that doesn't just come around very often, and people are celebrating watch parties all across our state tonight. We're going to be at one in his hometown of Newport, where you look at that Nokomis High School. Look, they're playing basketball. That's fitting. And they are ready to go, so we'll be joining our coverage up in Newport in just a little bit, and also in Falmouth, and rivalries there. That is a watch party that benefits a charity that is near and dear to the Flagg family's hearts, and we'll get into that as well. Also, we'll be in Brooklyn, New York. That's where the draft is happening. We'll be in Dallas. Again, the Mavericks have the top pick, so it's certainly widely expected that that's where Cooper Flagg will start his NBA career. We're talking about a pretty special player here. Cooper won a state championship in his freshman year at Nokomis with his brother Ace and his other brother Hunter. Also, the state's Gatorade Player of the Year he won in his one season at Nokomis. Then went to Montverde Academy out in Florida. He won a national title there, National Player of the Year awards as well. Part of the U17 USA team that won the World Cup. Became the youngest to ever win USA Basketball Male Player of the Year. Had an AAU national championship, oh, by the way, thrown in. Reclassified, went to college a year early, and then led the Duke Blue Devils to the ACC title as well as to the Final Four. And the cherry on top, he won 5 of the 6 major Player of the Year awards as well. One other thing that wasn't on that screen, oh, hey, this guy, we're going to take it to him in a second, is Cooper was also part of that select team that scrimmaged against the men's USA Olympic team before the U.S. Olympic team went, before the team went to the Olympics, made up of all NBA guys. They brought in a practice squad. Cooper was on it. And everybody's talking about Cooper. And you got LeBron, and you got Kevin Durant, and you've got Steph Curry. And everybody's like, who's this, at that time, 17-year-old kid? Okay, this is Jon Furbush. And we're so happy you're here. Special guest for this historic night. I appreciate you being here. Jon is the winningest coach in the history of Bates men's basketball. And this winter is 18th season. Dude, you're 26. How does that even happen? 18th season with the Bobcats. And also, relatively relevant to this conversation and what we'll talk about tonight is that Jon's brother Charlie made it to the Major League Baseball as a pitcher out of South Portland High School. So, Coach, I appreciate you being here, and I'm really interested to hear on your perspective on this. You and I, full disclosure, we're really friends in life too, so I really appreciate you being here. Okay, how do we put this in perspective properly? That a kid from Maine who's 18 years old is the soon-to-be youngest future face here of the National Basketball Association. It's crazy.
Well, it's great to be here, Lee. Yeah, it is crazy. It's amazing what he's done for the state of Maine, for the game of basketball. And I've seen Cooper play since he's in 3rd grade, and I'm pretty sure by the time he was in 8th grade, he would have started for me at Bates.
Couldn't get him?
Couldn't get him. We tried. We came into practice. We tried to close the gym and walk out with a letter of intent, but couldn't get it done. No, this is an incredible thing for the state of Maine and basketball right now. We're really excited.
And you don't have to be a basketball fan. I mean, there's a lot of people like, kid plays basketball, but this is a big deal. Because it's a big deal. Like this, we talked about this a lot. We've had 2 people in the history of the state of Maine, Joe Harrington out of the Bangor area and Skip Chappelle, both legendary athletes that grew up in Maine that were drafted in the NBA. Now, we've had players who were born here, maybe, lived here for a year, moved away, and we never, heard from again, and they made it to the NBA at some point. But this is uncharted waters. This certainly never a #1 overall pick in a draft, and you're seeing Cooper in his 1 year at Nokomis during the COVID years. That's why everybody's wearing a mask. This has never been done before, and it's such a cool thing to have one of ours. Maine's a small state. You know that. You're a high school athlete in our state and understand what it's like when you're good and you get all that attention from a small state. This is a pretty cool thing.
It's amazing. I still remember thinking I was going to be that kid as a freshman in South Portland, and I was humbled very quickly, Lee, and Cooper's been doing this every stage of his life. I mean, he's always played up, and I think he's going to continue to play up. So we're just really lucky to be part of his journey here in Maine.
There's that perception, I think, in our state that when you're the best player here, you're Maine good, right? Like, okay, sure. But this is quite literally the next and highest level of all time. And Cooper says it all the time. It's a famous quote that Kelly, his mom, says, who, oh, by the way, played at the University of Maine, is that if you're the best player in the gym, find a new gym, right? Such a great saying. And I don't know if she came up with it or she just says it. It's a great saying. He's been the best player at every level. It's why he's aged out of all of his things so quickly to just go to the next thing. And we're talking about comparisons at 18 years old to Larry Bird, right? Like the greatest of the greats, and this kid's done nothing yet, and this is his projection. It's insane.
It's wild. I mean, he's about to be in the next best gym here pretty soon, and he's just done incredible things for the game of basketball, not just in Maine, but in general. I think anyone that's really watched him play is inspired to either continue to watch the game or play it at the highest level. His IQ is incredible, and I just think, again, we're so lucky to have him from the state of Maine.
Yeah, great ambassador for our state, all great kid. I mean, everybody just says that all the accolades are everywhere. And his parents, Ralph and Kelly, also went to Nokomis High School, and can't say enough about them and the job that they've done in raising this young man, and Ace as well, who's going to go to UMaine and play for Chris Markwood, another South Portland guy, and Hunter, his older brother. So we'll get into all this stuff. We have a lot to get into in a little bit. Okay, so Cooper has a lot of sponsors as well. One of them is New Balance. Shoemaker has a big presence in our state. New Balance is hosting a party at Nokomis High School tonight, and that is where our Sean Stackhouse is, fired up and ready for this big night. And I mean, it's only 7:06, so we got about an hour to go, Stack. But I feel like that you are going to be in a very loud environment in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, even since we've just been here, Lee, it has been getting louder and louder. The excitement's palpable. As you can see right behind me now, we've got a group of kids playing knockout. The winner is going to get a signed Cooper Flagg card, courtesy of New Balance, as you mentioned, is hosting this watch party here at Nokomis High School, where Cooper Flagg played his freshman year of high school hoops, as you had mentioned, winning the state title Class A gold ball alongside his oldest brother, Hunter, as well as his twin Ace, with incredible stats as a freshman here, averaging more than 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists as a 14-year-old freshman. Similar numbers to what he was scoring at Duke, and I'm sure what a lot of Dallas Mavericks fans hope to be seeing Cooper in now. As we had mentioned, there are a lot of excited kids and a lot of excited adults. You can hear them just cheering up there behind me. Plenty of folks out here wearing the maroon for Nokomis High School. Also plenty as well that are rocking that Duke blue, as well as possibly Mavericks blue if all goes according to plan. We're seeing even more folks as well rocking white. New Balance handing out these shirts for everyone to wear for Flag Day. Of course, Governor Janet Mills proclaiming this as Flag Day in honor of Cooper and in honor of draft night. So there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of fun, and we're going to be checking back in here throughout the evening. We're going to be hearing from some folks with Nokomis High School, as well as New Balance, about what Cooper's draft night means to them. Lee, we'll send it back to you for now.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. And we look forward to joining you again multiple times, including when the actual pick gets made, and to watch that hometown reaction. And just, again, I feel like we're going to say the same thing a lot tonight over the next hour plus here, is that this is just really an unbelievable thing. So, and we've had great players come through our state. We're going to hear from one in a little bit. Nick Kinner-Medley went to Deering, and I would say to this point in life, he's been our most successful basketball player to come from Maine. Certainly made the most money overseas, and did a really nice job, and went to Maryland, full scholarship, played for Gary Williams, and then played and won championships in Europe, won awards, individual awards in Europe, probably our most decorated player, and never played in the NBA. And that's the bar. And now that bar, as good as he was, right? And now that bar is, you can't see the bar. Like, what Cooper's going to do, the bar is not even in sight right now. So.
Nick was a heck of a player, though.
Right.
I mean, he put me in my place 25 years ago, humbled me, just like I said earlier. But yeah, it's awesome. I mean, Cooper is just, you mentioned his character. I mean, he's not just a great basketball player, he's a great kid, and he's doing some amazing things for the state of Maine.
And you can say all kinds of stuff, but the actions obviously matter as well. He could have signed with literally anyone, right? Adidas, Nike, everybody wanted the Cooper Flagg shoe. He picks New Balance. which is an off left to center pick, right? It's not the popular one. It's not what Jordan or any Magic or any of those guys did. But he found a company with roots in Maine, and it was important to him to stay connected to the state. And he picks, so something even as subtle as that. Now listen, he's getting whatever, $25 million from them. So, but he could have got that from anybody, is the point. And he decided to pick a place with a factory here that has a presence here. Didn't have to do that, did it. And I think that speaks volumes as well. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I am wearing a New Balance shirt here.
Oh.
Bates Bobcats.
Also 25 million? Just short?
Yeah.
Just short of the 25 million?
A couple zeros less.
So I want to ask you this, because you do have a unique perspective. We mentioned it at the beginning. Your brother Charlie played Major League Baseball, right? Played for the Detroit Tigers, Seattle Mariners, highly touted prospect, played at St. Joe's, got found, right? Got to LSU. So there's your brother. You're an athlete. He's an athlete. So by nature, crazy competitive. Had your own sibling thing going on, right? Just because you were brothers. When he does that, is there a way to be 100% happy for your sibling? Is there even a little bit of that jealousy where you're like, yeah, buddy, hey, bro, I love you, but because I don't know what Hunter and Ace are feeling, and I'm quite certain they're happy for their brother, but now you're the brother of Cooper Flagg. You're the brother of Charlie Furbush. It's like, all right, what's that like?
That's tricky. I was the youngest coach in the NCAA for, about a year, but in that year, my brother decided to get drafted by the Detroit Tigers, so he just immediately went up to me. And you mentioned the competitiveness. He still thinks he can strike me out from second base. That's like a running joke that we have. He thinks he's so good at pitching that he can strike me out from second base. And we might test that through this winter.
I was going to say.
It's about time. I think his arm's a little dead now.
You got to wait till you have to wheel him out.
Yeah.
I think, I got you now, Charlie.
Let's go.
How you like me now,
yeah.
Right? All right, there is another big draft party, watch party happening tonight in Maine. It's at Rivalries in Falmouth. They're hosting that one, and the proceeds from ticket sales will benefit the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Maine. So we want to take a peek at what they're doing in Falmouth at Rivalries tonight as they're getting ready. So they started promoting this a while ago too. So people, again, buying tickets. If you're going to watch the draft and you can raise some money for a good cause, why not do that? So the Ronald McDonald Charities will benefit from everybody who decides to go to Rivalries tonight and watch all the festivities there, as they will celebrate Cooper in the, relative to Nokomis anyway, southern part of the state. You see that gentleman with a Cooper Flagg jersey on. Also, I need to remind me that when we go back to Sean Stackhouse, I want 2 of those cards. One for me, one for you. So
that'd be
if
great.
He's giving those cards away, we got to get a couple of those.
Yes, sir.
Put them up and say, hey, used to know that kid.
Yeah.
All right, our sister station out in Dallas, we talked about them also doing a live stream tonight. So they are going to be obviously very excited in Dallas. Remember, the Mavericks have had quite the tumultuous year as they traded away their best player at the time, 23-year-old Luka Doncic, and to the Lakers. And so they got a lot of bad publicity for that. Is that Marco McGuire, Isaac? Mark Aguirre? Yeah. So let's just listen in real quick to what our affiliate in Dallas is talking about right now as they get ready to make Cooper Flagg a Maverick.
The Washington hat on, trade happened, and then I had to go back.
Well, wasn't that great? I love live TV. So that was Mark Aguirre, we believe, former Maverick great, just kind of talking about how exciting of a moment this is for the Mavericks, who had, again, a 1-point-something minuscule chance of getting the number 1 pick in the draft, and ended up having all the ping pong balls bounce their way, and ended up with the rights to go ahead and pick Cooper Flagg. So we'll see what happens in about 7 minutes from now. Our sister station out in Charlotte also doing a live stream tonight because, of course, Cooper played at Duke in North Carolina. So they're very excited there following their former player. And, if the Mavericks do, as expected, take Cooper Flagg, basketball-wise only, so selfishly, I think he should play for the Celtics, right? Wouldn't that be great? So Celtics weren't quite bad enough to get that pick. When the draft order and things came out, Charlotte was my choice. I really wanted him to go to Charlotte. There's Maine ownership as part of the Hornets group. Josh Longstaff is an assistant coach for the Hornets, and he's had a great run as Josh did such a great job all around assistant coaching. So there's a lot of Maine connections there, obviously, and he played at Duke. So that North Carolina connection would have been a great fit. Didn't work out. So Dallas goes ahead and takes him. Let's assume that happens. Basketball-wise, it's really a good situation for him. He doesn't have to carry this team. He's, again, only 18 years old. He'll get to play with Anthony Davis. After probably January, he'll get to play with Kyrie Irving, a fellow Dookie. Kyrie hurt himself towards ACL last year, so he'll be ready probably right after Christmas. So he's in a kind of good basketball situation, Jason Kidd. I mean, he won't have to be the man day one. You're 18, trying to figure it out, playing 5 times more games than he's used to playing in a year. This is a good situation for him.
It's a great situation. He does not have to be the guy and really go through the suffering, losing seasons on paper with Davis, Kyrie, Clay, and Lively. I mean, they can roll out maybe the longest 5 in the NBA and have incredible rim protection. So, and I think Cooper's a Swiss Army knife. He can do anything. So I think when you add him with those other 4 and they have a strong bench, I think they become contenders immediately.
So how does his game translate? Like, when you go from high school to college, how's he going to make it from Montverde to Duke? Well, we saw, right? I mean, a couple of times he has some struggles, but he found his groove fairly quickly. How does this 18-year-old go up against LeBron James and Steph Curry and the seasoned veterans and the stars of the NBA, even the younger stars that have been now for a few years? What's that learning curve look like for a kid like him?
Well, so much of that level is really the neck up. I mean, I think the game's going to be faster. I mean, taking a shot 6 seconds sooner with a 24-second shot clock is going to definitely speed up everything for him, and the strength of these guys is amazing. But I think he proved at the highest level of college basketball that he was fine. So there's going to be a learning curve, but he's not going to be defended by the best defensive player all the time. So I think he's going to be able to do what he does and have a lot of success early. And
he gets a lot of comparisons to like a Kawhi Leonard, which great comparison because he's a superstar. Because Cooper goes both ways, right? Great on offense, great on defense. The criticisms of him, if you will, are maybe not the best create your own shot kind of guy, better, like off the ball, trying to get himself open, and that will be harder for him, obviously, at the next level. And then there's a comparison to Larry Bird, right? Mom and dad, huge Celtics fans. He says was a huge Larry Bird fan. So how do you, because this is what we do, where do you put him? Like, who's he going to be the most likely?
Oh, that's a tricky question.
Right,
if he was like Larry, that'd be incredible. I think his three ball does not get enough credit. I think it doesn't maybe come off his hands the way all the professionals want to see it, but he shoots it at a high clip, and you get to a point in your basketball career where it either goes in or it doesn't. You don't want to mess with the tactical side of it too much. And I think I don't know the number off the top of my head, but he was near 40% from three this year as a first year.
Yeah. Well, the kids can't help but hear comparisons these days because there's social media. Can you imagine if Larry Bird had social media? What him and Lambeer would have been like saying, like they would have been arrested for like criminal threatening or something. Anyway, so there's a lot of comparisons. The kids know all about it, and we talked about our affiliate in Dallas that's covering this for us, and they're in New York at the draft, and they caught up with Cooper and did some comparing of their own and had Cooper react to it. So let's see how that worked out.
Tonight, Cooper Flagg is expected to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft when the Mavs make him their selection and immediately their future. There have been endless comparisons thrown around for Flagg over the course of this draft cycle. Kevin Garnett for his intensity, Kawhi Leonard for his two-way capabilities as both an offensive weapon and a defensive stalwart. But there's another comparison from an earlier generation that Flagg himself alluded to on Tuesday. Flagg grew up in Maine, played his first year of high school ball there, and calls New England home. So it probably shouldn't come as much surprise that the Boston Celtics were a part of his childhood. And the player who resonated most with him as a kid was Larry Bird.
I think just the things he was about, the way he played so hard on every possession, the way he, was diving on the floor, doing all the little things. That's kind of just the way I modeled my game when I was younger, and that sort of stuff. So I think that's kind of why I play the way I am. I don't have to give credit to that of just modeling myself after him and the way he was able to play and the things he was able to do.
Of all the things that Cooper Flagg does well, and it is a long, long list, his drive, his competitive spirit, his ferocity on the floor is the thing that those closest to him put at the very top of his list. So a comp with Larry Bird, yeah, that checks out. Tonight, the first round of the NBA draft as Cooper Flagg gets ready to go #1 overall. Lee, back to you.
Cooper, the facial hair. Like, he's getting that little boy look off his face because he just looks so little, age-wise compared to all these people. So it's such a cool, listen, like I said, we're a small state. And Cooper would be the big fish regardless. He could be from California, anywhere, and people would know who Cooper Flagg is. He doesn't have this much attention because of where he's from. But because of where he's from, we are so much more invested in this kid. Everybody's going to root for him. You know what Mainers are like. I mean, we love our local hometown hero athletes, and so to see a kid like this gives everybody a tremendous sense of pride. We love to hear what other people have to say about our guys, right? Like, ooh, what do you think about him? And hear from what people away have to say. So it's a very cool thing. So ESPN college basketball analyst Jay Billis says Cooper Flagg is the best freshman in the history of Duke. Grant Hill, Kyrie Irving, Zion Williamson, keep going. Really, best one ever? So Jay was up here playing in last week's Drive for Kids golf tournament in Falmouth. So we're like, all right, Jay, give us some Coop.
Well, I think whether he's from Maine or California or Georgia, it doesn't really matter. I mean, he's the real deal. And I get it. It's unusual to have the number one player come out of Maine. It doesn't happen all that often. But it doesn't matter where he's from. He's the real thing. And he'll be the number one pick in the draft, and he's going to have a long, productive career as long as he stays healthy.
I literally did not see that until just now. So that's pretty funny that I just said the same thing. Thanks, Jay. Maybe I should be an ESPN analyst. Probably not. Yeah, it's good stuff. So, you hear somebody say something like that, and that's pretty cool. So we did talk a little bit about Nick Medley, and here's why. So there have been lots of Maine players come out of here, nice professional careers overseas. Nick Mayo, Troy Barney's obviously out of Edward Little's doing a great job, still playing. Mackenzie Holmes, making some money in the WNBA out of Gorham, great job. But one person that has helped the next generation with his success was Nick Medley, long pro career, and he couldn't really be a bigger fan, if possible, of Cooper Flagg and Maine basketball. Also, by the way, very important to mention, a fellow Deering Ram alum. Got to get
extremely excited. I've always been a really big fan of Maine basketball in general, following it ever since I left Maine to go to Maryland. Throughout my whole career professionally, I followed it, doing SummerSlam every summer, getting back, meeting the kids. I've always just been really interested in being a part of Maine basketball and trying to give back. So to see what Cooper's accomplished and other young kids too, in the last 10, 15 years, boys and girls, has been really fun to watch. And at the end of the day, I'm a really big fan.
I mean, you see, Mackenzie's back in the WNBA right now, and with the impact that Cooper has had, for basketball, is there a way to tangibly put an effect on what this does for kids? Like when you were playing, little kids coming up to you, kind of wearing that Maryland jersey, following you through your career, and now the next level of kids kind of doing the same thing.
100%. I feel extremely lucky that when I was coming up in elementary school and middle school, there was players. For me, fundamentally, it's being inspired, and having players locally that can inspire you and show you that this is possible. And, when you're in your driveway, you're pretending you're this player or that player. To me, that's massive. And I think that that's where things start to compound into belief. And I think belief is a really big step in, going out there and being able to accomplish goals, is really believing in yourself. When I was coming up, guys like Andy Bedard, Cindy Blodgett, I used to drive the Civic Center games and watch them play. I've told this to Andy a million times, how much he inspired me. And, I was one of his biggest fans. And I think it's a really small world. And I don't think it's a coincidence that now, Andy has been a major influence, I think, for Cooper throughout his development, and not only as a player, but I think the mental side. Sports is really mental too. And when you just see the winning intangibles that Cooper has, and you see the type of competitor and his humility, I think Andy did an incredible job, and Andy wouldn't say it, and I don't think that many people know how impactful he's been. He's a guy that was really inspiring to me, and I think now, with somebody like Mackenzie and somebody like Cooper, it's young players from Maine watching them and seeing like, wow, I can do that. If there's another player from Maine that's in the WNBA or in the NBA, I can do that. And that's the most exciting part to me, because I think that inspiration and belief is extremely powerful.
And for those who aren't old enough to remember, Andy, a tremendous player at Mountain Valley, great career at Boston College, went to Maine for a little bit too. And that kid, when he crossed half court, you had to put a hand in his jersey because he could shoot.
Incredible.
Yeah, he could shoot. Yeah, you're right. Coach the AAU team that Cooper and his brother Ace were both on, and obviously did such great things with. So being a star, playing at that level, being the person, endorsements. I mean, it's a whole new world than when you were playing at Maryland, the NIL stuff, all of it, recognition, fame, actually money, stuff that kids weren't allowed to have back in the day, those things. Yep. So you take all those things right at a national level, and then you put it in the state of Maine, and you know firsthand how we love our players, right? We love, the success stories that come out of our small state. We got 1.2 million people. We are a big, small town. And so what that was like for you to be recognizable. If you played high school basketball in California, you're one of thousands that have made it to the NBA. But when you're from Maine, you're like, wow, Nick's in Kazakhstan, Nick's winning MVPs over in Europe, Nick's winning championships. Like, everybody knows what you're doing, which I'm guessing is good and bad, but probably mostly good. And now Cooper kind of going through the same thing.
Yeah, I think for me, it was really inspiring. It was always really motivating and inspiring to come home and get that support. And the support was incredible. Obviously, Cooper, what he's doing is on a completely different level, but fundamentally that love and support you get, it really hits, and it's been really cool to see the support, that Maine is a big family and a big basketball community. I think it's a really unique opportunity, and from the outside looking in, seeing the way Mackenzie and seeing the way Cooper have represented the state, and really embraced that and really had that be, an inspiring part and wanting to come back and give back. I think they've both done an incredible job of managing all the things that have been on their plate, but then maintaining that humility and maintaining those touch points back in Maine. I think it's incredible. I think it's such a fun opportunity that both of those players have, and being from great families, the humility that they have around them, to stay grounded. I'm just really excited to see all the incredible things that they're going to be able to do for the state of Maine. And I have absolutely no doubt in my mind, which is one of the most exciting parts. I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to really represent the state of Maine and always come back to the state of Maine and have a presence in the state of Maine and really take advantage of the opportunity to inspire the next generation of players, because I've always thought that there was going to be NBA players from Maine. And this is just another step where, is there going to be another Cooper Flagg or a Mackenzie Holmes? Maybe not. But I do think that there's to that level, right? Potentially the number one pick in the draft. Maybe not, but I do think that there's going to be another NBA player, another WNBA player. And I think that there's a lot of kids right now in Maine in their driveways envisioning that. And I think it goes a long way when you have those examples, and really, really good examples too, to sort of drive that inspiration and those goals.
Well, not to get sappy on you, but, I have always been proud. I've known you since you were a kid, of what you did and the way you represented yourself, from Deering to Maryland to all the different countries you played in. And I'm always so happy to see the press clippings. Again, I'd get up at 2 a.m. and watch you online, and check out the stream. So I was always proud of what you did and how you represented our state. Now it's your turn, I'm guessing, to feel a lot of pride as well, because you kind of went first in this next level. You raised the bar, for where basketball players from Maine could get. And now that bar is going to go even higher, and that must make you proud also.
I appreciate the support, always. And, I have a great group of people in Maine that have been extremely supportive and motivated me throughout the career. And I appreciate you for that. And at this point, I'm a huge fan, and that's the funnest part for me, having a 5-year-old daughter, having players that I feel great to have my daughter look up to, a Cooper Flagg or a Mackenzie Holmes, because they're truly great role models. They're great human beings. They're about all the right things. They're extremely hard workers. So for me, I'm extremely prideful of Maine basketball. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to be their biggest fan huge fan.
I mean, kind of the passing of the torch, as Maine goes from, up until now, our best basketball player to what's about to be next. So pretty cool. It's fun to watch. I love catching up with Nick, and I love 40-something-year-old Nick too. Like, I've known Nick since he was a kid. And so, when you're a kid, you're like, really? And then him an adult, and now he's a dad, and you're like, okay, now you can see that growth process. So
we all
went through it. That's right. Well, not me. All right, we are going to take a break, actually, a timeout. But as we do, we want to show you, because fashion matters, and this is the official draft night outfit for Cooper Flagg. Look at it. He looks older. I'm telling you, he looks good. Coop, get it done. We're going to take a break. We'll come back to capture the flag right about a minute or so from now.
Severe weather can happen in an instant. High winds, strong thunderstorms, hail, flooding. Be ready in an instant. Get up-to-the-date coverage on News Center Maine Plus or on the News Center Maine app. Our weather team is here to help you stay dry, stay informed, and stay safe. Your plans rely on weather, and you can rely on the News Center Maine weather team. Weather on News Center Maine is sponsored by Next Home Experience, Renewal by Anderson, and Winterport Discount Mattress and Furniture.
2024 was a fantastic year of growth for Next Home Experience, and it's all because of you. Thank you for choosing Next Home Experience for buying and selling your next home. Here's to a fantastic 2025. Get looped. Get sold. Next Home Experience.
All right, welcome back to Capture the Flag. About 29 minutes until the draft program begins. And then I'm sure there'll be a little introduction programming there and get you all set up for stuff. So who knows when they actually make the first pick, but we will not let you miss that. We'll go right to Newport when that happens and check out the Nokomis High School reaction, which will be a fun place to watch their guy going to the NBA. All right, we did talk a little bit earlier about all the watch parties happening around our state. Again, one of them in Rivalries in Falmouth, and this is a party with a purpose. Julie Mulkern is the CEO of the Ronald McDonald House Charities, and Julie, your charity is going to benefit directly from this. I know we talked earlier that your charity is important to the Flaggs to be represented and to give you this. So how did this whole thing come about? How did you reach out to the Flaggs to make this happen? And I know it's loud in there, so how's it going so far?
Yeah, well, it is pretty loud in here. I can hear you fairly well, but I think the volume is a good sign that people are having a good time and really excited for what's going to happen in the next few minutes. The Flaggs are super supportive of Ronald McDonald House Charities, especially here in Maine, because the Flagg family was actually a family that stayed in our house in Portland when their children were born. So they've always been super supportive. I was thrilled to meet them last fall, and I knew that they would be really supportive of us having a watch party here in Maine. And we actually worked with Rivalries, of course, Victor Rios, who is our t-shirt and In Flagg We Trust guy, and brought this party together. And I will say that in addition to people being super excited here, as you mentioned, everyone is really excited around the state, and a lot of the parties in Maine, and actually Cooper's own after party, will also benefit Ronald McDonald House Charities. So we are thrilled.
That is fantastic. And how was the response? I mean, I can see the people behind you, but was this like as soon as you announced it, phones are off the hook? Like, how do we get involved in this? Because we do love to support our own.
Yeah, and I think that not only obviously it's a historic night for Maine and for Cooper, but people are also just very supportive of what we do because our mission touches everyone, and so people jumped at the chance to be part of this, and we just feel incredibly lucky to have the association we do with the Flaggs as part of our organization.
All right, Julie Mulkern, CEO of Ronald McDonald House Charities. Enjoy the rest of the festivities, as I'm sure you will, and everybody else will as well. So great stuff. And again, it's just another kind of, dot on the conversation of being local and staying local and supporting local. They could have had a watch party anywhere, or benefit whatever cause they wanted. They found something local, personal to them, and just another testament to the Flag's commitment to our state. And that, again, starts at the top, starts with Ralph and Kelly. I mean, there was a shot of them in the crowd. And what would that be like, by the way? Like, you go to all your kids' games, right? You only have two, but you go to all your kids' games as best you can. Ralph and Kelly, they had Ace over here, Cooper over here. I mean, I don't know what their frequent flyer miles look like, but they must get free everything wherever they go, because it was just like, I think there was one game if I remember proper from one of Kelly's posts, that she couldn't get to because they had to go to Ace's this. So they couldn't get to Cooper's that. And it was the only time all year where the schedules were matched up where they couldn't at least have one of them at one of the events.
I don't know how they do it.
Who's in charge of scheduling?
That's tricky.
Right?
I actually was, one of my incoming recruits was teammates with Ace in AAU. And we were watching them in Pennsylvania, and Ralph and Kelly took a red eye from the ESPYs in California because it was like the only AAU game they were going to see Ace play. And so I chatted with them a little bit, and they were, I don't know if they had gone to bed yet, but I mean, I couldn't imagine that experience watching Cooper get these awards out in LA, and then you fly into Hershey, Pennsylvania, watching your other son play basketball. Yeah. So what an amazing journey they're on.
It's awesome. So we did mention that Ralph and Kelly, Cooper's parents, did go to Nokomis High School as well. She was Kelly Bowman at the time, and he was obviously Ralph Flagg. So we're going to go to Nokomis High School in Newport, where Sean Stackhouse is hanging out and getting ready as we get closer to the official announcement.
Yeah, Lee, as we get closer to that first overall draft pick, more and more folks are packing into the gym here at Nokomis High School. You can see right behind me, we've got so many kids lined up shooting free throws and having a ball. Now I'm joined with RSU 19 Superintendent Mike Hammer. We'll bring you in, and you have known Cooper for quite a while now. When did you actually realize that Cooper may be different than some of the other basketball stars we've seen?
I remember seeing him in middle school. You know, he definitely stood out as far as being taller than I was probably at that point in time. And then watching his freshman year, I went to all the games in Brewer, and then here, you know, this place being packed. Then up to and following him down to the Elite Eight and watching Boston College this year. So I've been, I've been here 9 years and probably have seen him for that long. So.
And what's it like seeing someone from your community turn into such an incredible athlete?
Well, it's amazing. I mean, and it's true of community. If you drive through town today, you've got Bears has got it on their billboard, and the county Federal Credit Union has it on theirs. You know, everywhere. It's just kind of the whole family is so ingrained in our community that it means so much to us. You know, and to have New Balance really dedicated to the kids in our community, as you can see, and that being part of Cooper too. A company like New Balance, it's just we've been waiting for this for a long time.
It's a real community feel in here inside of the gymnasium. What is your message to the young kids that we got out here about growing up to be just like Cooper?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's clearly given that to kids all over probably the country. You know, they can come from a small town, they can put in the hard work, they can get there early, they can go to a big school. You know, they don't have to give up their dream. So, you know, he's really raised the level of all these kids who've got the shirt on his back, whether it's Duke, Mount Baird, and then, you know, whatever it's going to be tonight.
Yeah, there you go. You've got the shirt right on your chest right now for Flag Day. Everyone that has been coming in here to Nokomis High School has been getting one of those, courtesy of New Balance, who is hosting this. Superintendent Michael Hammer, thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to be here throughout the rest of the night. This is where you'll see Cooper make, when that first pick, when that name is called, as we think it will be, we'll be joining you from right here, and we'll have some more folks coming to join us as well. Lee, we'll send things back to you for now.
All right, Stack, I'm not letting you go because this is going to be the most important thing you do all night, okay? Coach and I need one of those cards. So 2 cards, 1 each for me and Coach.
Yeah, I think we can work on that. We'll see about the t-shirts. I am going to have to win a competition if you want one of those signed cards coming back to you. But if we're open to having one of these live shots, having me shooting free throws, then maybe we'll see what we can do.
Are we open? Dude, we are on live on the stream for as long as we freaking feel like it, and you're going to get me that card. So, yes, you will shoot until you make it, young man. You have nothing more important than that. All right, Stack, thank you very much. We'll get back to you in a little bit. So we did talk about, again, the connection to Nokomis High School for Cooper's parents. I love this story, and if you guys have heard this before, I'm sorry if you haven't, you're welcome. About the rivalry between Kelly, again, who played at the University of Maine, and Cooper, that they always played one-on-one in the driveway, and that Kelly literally won every single time they played. She never lost. And there was one game later, as he was getting older and starting to getting a lot taller than her, where he was winning 7-6, and in the driveway, she tore a ligament in her knee, and they had to stop the game. And Kelly maintains to this day, because that game was not completed, she still never lost to him. He says, I was winning, I'm counting that as a W. Mom says, So even still, it's a debate, and I love that that happened between the two of them, and I also love that Kelly won all the games. So this family is very close, clearly connected through basketball. So we did catch up with Kelly, we caught up with Dad Ralph, we caught up with brother Ace, who again is going to be going to Maine to play for Coach Markwood, all to talk about Cooper and what he's like as a human and as a basketball player. So check him out.
I think for me, making sure Cooper is a good person. And I think, all of those traits that he has on the court, I think are overshadowed really for me by who he is off the court. And he really is a kind, caring, compassionate person. He cares about all of his teammates. He cares about young kids who are sick. He cares about his brothers. He cares about us. He cares about the managers and the custodians that, are cleaning up at Duke, and he knows everybody by name.
Originally, the support from Maine alone has been unbelievable. Probably since he even went to Montverde, the backing, the support that we've had from Maine, it's unfathomable. It really is. It's just been awesome. So we just try to kind of keep him grounded and remind him where he's from and what it's taken to get here, and kind of make him stay humble, and then just kind of being around for him if he needs somebody to talk to, that type of thing. And then just being positive and supportive of him all the time.
We couldn't play a game in our driveway without someone bleeding. It was terrible. Every single time there would be fist fights. The game would end when someone ran in yelling for mom because someone punted the ball across the street or hit each other. But it was always fun.
That is my favorite Ace answer of all time. I love that. The game didn't end if someone wasn't bleeding. Come on.
I've experienced that.
I was just gonna say, if I call Mama Furbush right now, am I gonna get the same answer?
Yeah, there's a lot of patching of holes in walls indoors. There was
boys and their testosterone, and I guess
boys
this is the
boys.
way it's gonna happen. So I just love that he gave that answer. It was great. Also, by the way, Ace maintains he's a far better defensive player, and he knows Cooper's weakness and could shut him down if he had to. So, Coach Markwood, it's too late. I guess you're not going to be able to play the Mavericks next year, but it's good to know. All right, when Cooper gets picked tonight, he will not just be making himself and his family, his friends proud, obviously the entire state of Maine as well. We're going to go back to Mike Leslie, who's with our sister station out in Dallas, and talk to Cooper about the Maine pride that he has.
Tonight here in Brooklyn, Maine's own Cooper Flagg is expected to be the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft by the Dallas Mavericks. 19 days ago, he could have been graduating from Nokomis Regional High School with his classmates. Instead, he's about to be one of the bright young faces of the NBA. Flagg met with the media on Tuesday and showed immense poise, dealing with question after question through a 17-minute press conference, never once seeming like an 18-year-old kid. And he talked about what it means to him to have the state of Maine behind him.
Yeah, I think, being able to come from Maine, it is such a big part of me and who I am today. I carry that with me, and I carry a lot of pride in that. Sending that message that it doesn't matter where you're from and that sort of thing. So just proving to the kids in Maine, and even bigger than that, kids from anywhere around the world, that it doesn't matter as long as you believe in yourself and you work hard.
Flagg was asked on Tuesday if he felt any pressure to replace Luka Doncic after the Mavs traded the superstar 4.5 months ago. Flagg handled it with grace, saying he's not worried about living up to any player's expectations. He's just worried about being himself and getting better every day. At Barclays Center in Brooklyn, I'm Mike Leslie. Lee, back to you.
About 16 minutes away from the start of the draft coverage, so we're getting closer to that. So something that Cooper said, and even Mike there, I don't know. I don't travel the world looking at basketball players to try to get them to come to my program. That's why you're here. So I feel, as someone from Maine, that everybody is super proud of where they're from, and that so they're all out representing their respective states. But then I hear a lot of, it's really not like that everywhere. You don't see the kids from California because they are one of thousands who are like, yeah, but from the smaller states maybe more. So what is it like? Do you see this Maine pride thing? Is that just something that we think is out there, or is that a real tangible thing?
It's a real thing. So my team is made up of players from all over the country, all over the world, and my players who are not from Maine always get a kick out of the banter between the Maine guys on my roster, and actually a lot of them end up going to some Maine high school games when our season's over. and they're amazed at the sense of pride that each community has for their team. So it's not the same in other states. I think that it's different in Maine, and unless you're from here, you don't know about it. But some of my out-of-state guys have kind of fallen in love with certain teams in Maine that they've seen play over time. So it is a real thing, and me being from South Portland, I can attest to that. I still got that Red Riot pride, and I'm sorry to say that to a Ram here next to me.
You're okay. We're watching Maine United here, the AAU team that we talked about a little bit. So, and Andy Bedard went to Mountain Valley High School, had a great career there, could shoot the ball from half court on, played at BC, played at Maine, and coached this team. So Cooper's on this team, Ace was on that team, Andy's son Caden is on that team. Yep. I mean, that was a Maine AAU team. Now again, they all could have split off. They all could have gone and joined other teams or gone other places, or maybe not put this team together, but they did stick together and they played together. They went out and won, a national championship. Were they coming second or first? I'm trying to remember actually, but I know they were in the national championship game. Yeah. But anyway, in the Nike League. So like this is, again, and that's led by Andy Bedard. So like another local kid. So, and you know Andy very well. So I mean, when you're watching stuff like that happen, all these Maine kids, and that's also like, that's pretty awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah, they put Maine on the map, and I'm going to pivot real quickly because Andy Bedard, you mentioned him shooting from half court. I want to just tell the brief story of how we met back in the day when we were playing in a summer league at the Portland Athletic Club, and you mentioned Josh Longstaff. I was teammates with him, Brian Wool, Jason Levesque from Westbrook. We had a good little crew, and the coach that was working with us at the time said, hey, you got Bedard, Furbush, and the second he gets over half court, you got to get a hand up. And I was a naive 17-year-old, thought I was better than I was. Tip went up. He kind of looked at me like, you're not going to guard me, and he threw it in from 40 feet. So then I pressured him the next possession. He crossed me up. I was on ice skates, and he dunked on two of our guys. I'm like, who is this kid? So, and for him, the neck up stuff is where he really makes a difference. And obviously, he's done that with Cooper to get him to where he is now.
Yeah. And you're like, he's from Rumford? Where's that? Like, is that even in Maine?
Yeah,
right?
He cooked me.
That kid could play. All right, Coach, thank you for that. So, all right, last summer, Team USA, we talked a little bit about this as well. They won a gold medal in Olympic basketball, but there's a select team of the U.S. Gold medal winners that they scrimmage before the Olympics even started. Cooper was the first college player to be on the practice squad, if you will, in more than 10 years. Had all kinds of highlight plays while he was going against the best in the world, and was asked about what it was like to be on that team, and here's what he had to say. In just a minute. But yeah, he's playing against Kevin Durant, he's playing against LeBron James. I mean, you've seen these videos all over social media. And Kevin Garnett's a huge, Cooper Flagg fan. I mean, all the best in the game have given their accolades, and here's what it was like for Cooper to play against the best of the best.
That experience of being able to go to the USA thing on the select team was, it's priceless for me. It's such a good learning experience for me to go there, learn from everybody. There's a ton of Hall of Fame players, so I think I just took that as a huge learning experience, and I tried to learn as much as I could. And I think now it's just that confidence I got from playing with them. I know I can, play my game and be who I am, and I think I've gotten a lot better since then too. So I'm just excited to, be in this environment and be able to just do what I do.
And oh, by the way, he did that when he was 17 years old. And like every time you say something, you're like, what? Like, what? This is an anomaly. We're not doing a 2-hour special for fun. Like, this is historic. This is not something we've seen before, nor likely are going to see again. Like, and I hope it does inspire every Maine kid out there, boy, girl, whatever, to get out there and play basketball or whatever sport you love, and know that a kid from Maine can do great things. We've had a lot of success, ironically, in baseball in Maine, where you can't play baseball because you're stuck inside. But we've had more professional baseball players come from Maine than any other professional sport, which is crazy. But that's true. So you don't have to be stuck because you're in a cold weather state. You can really put your mind to it. You can work hard. Work hard probably goes first, and you can get whatever you want. So and these kids are a testament to that. So it is fun to watch for sure. All right, so. Lots of highlights, even though Cooper was only at Duke for 1 year, but it seemed like it was well, first of all, he had the most Player of the Week awards in ACC history for a freshman. He had the most Freshman of the Week awards in ACC history. So he was setting records left and right, seemingly every week. And every time he played a game, whatever highlights he had from that game made it on SportsCenter, whatever else for highlights you were watching. So we put together a small compilation in case you did not watch Cooper, or you're not a basketball fan, but you do want to support the kid from Maine, which is great. Like, why is this kid so good? Like, I don't understand it. So for about a minute and 25 or so seconds, we're going to show you some of the best, and some, because it would have taken a while, of what this freshman year, 1 year of college basketball looked like for Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, I mean, it felt great. An incredible atmosphere. So it was amazing to be out there and play and have fun.
I mean, you just have to laugh at that last one. You're just like, oh, no.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, oh, by the way, Cooper's other freshman teammates, Malawat, Con, though Con is going to likely be a top 5 pick. Maybe right now, if you go with the experts in the mock drafts, because I'm obsessed with this now, is going to be the 4th pick in the draft to the Charlotte Hornets. So that would be cool for him to stay, and they're very close friends off the floor as well. Malawat is going to be maybe a top 10 pick. So 3 freshmen coming off that Duke team are likely going to be in the top 10 or so picks in the NBA. So, yeah, I guess Duke does a pretty good job with basketball. All right, Coach, we'll put you on the spot. So, coming up in this preseason for next season, Bates has decided they're going to scrimmage Dallas. So, so you're coaching against Cooper. So, let's pick a little go a category at a time. Offensively, what does Cooper do well? What does Cooper, in your opinion, what kind of changes will he have to make to be ready to go at the next level?
Well, I think he creates so much offense for other people. I mean, he's constantly been the center of attention of opponents, and while I think he will be to an extent at the NBA, he's going to have so much talent around him that he won't have to do as much. So I think he's going to be able to continue to do what he does, is the way he just said that in the last clip that we saw. So I think offensively he shoots it at a clip where he's going to be able to get downhill and get by and make plays for others. But I don't think he's going to see nearly the double teams that he sees. So it might be green lights down Broadway right to the rim.
Well, and if you remember, and full disclosure, I am a longtime North Carolina fan. I've loved the Tar Heels since before Michael Jordan even got there. So it literally pained me to watch every single Duke game this year, 34, whatever there were of them. But I watched every single one of them and became a huge fan certainly of Cooper. But you remember early in the season, the coach was all over Cooper for not being selfish enough. Mm-hmm. They wanted him, stop passing, stop worrying about your teammates so much, take over the games when we need you to take over. And he kind of had to learn that, which was interesting.
Yeah, I think that's it's easier to get a player to ramp it up like that. If someone's just driving the ball out of control, drawing a second and third defender and still trying to play through traffic, that it's hard to scale someone back. So I think Yeah, I mean, Cooper, once he figured that out and didn't have to share the ball as much because he had so much space to get to the rim, he became way more efficient.
All right, let's talk about his defense. We saw a couple of his blocks in that little highlight clip, and he does love to get up there and send it into the seats. So defensively, what is he good at, and what challenges might he have as an 18-year-old going up against these fully grown men?
It's a great question. I remember Coach Calipari once saying the NBA stands for no boys allowed, but I think Cooper's got a great frame where he can actually be physical and compete and not get punked. But his versatility on and off the ball is incredible. I mean, he's somebody that I almost thought at one point in the year watching him play off the ball, he was just enough outside of help position, baiting someone to drive it just so he could block or alter the shot. Whereas, most coaches would get mad if you're not fully in a gap, but he was so good that he was almost playing chess while everyone else is kind of playing checkers. He's an incredible defensive player, and his ability to protect the rim as maybe a 3 for the Mavericks with Davis and Lively at the 4-5, unbelievable. So I think his ability to rebound the ball will be the difference.
And you talked a lot about the basketball IQ, and that's an intangible that you have to have. You can't really measure it with a physical test. How high can you jump and how hard can you shoot? But this kid, seemingly from all accounts and from his teammates, and I mean, this is always like the most liked kid on every team he plays on, and is a team guy first and understands the game at a level that an 18-year-old really shouldn't understand.
No, and I want to give a ton of credit to Andy again. I think Andy was teaching him things, in 3rd and 4th grade when they were playing, practicing at the Bates gym. I was just like, I cannot believe you're talking about ball screen coverage with 9-year-olds and the way he was holding them accountable. And I think Cooper really understood things at a young age, and every jump that he's made, again, he's just playing a different game that not many other people are playing, and I think it's super inspiring. I've been coaching almost 20 years, and watching Cooper just, gives me more purpose to my job, and I'm impressed by him every time I watch him.
All right, well, it's been a good year, I guess, for Dallas in general for basketball, because they've had the number 1 pick in the draft a couple times, and usually it means you didn't do very well. That's why you got the number 1 pick. So in the WNBA, Dallas got the number 1 pick and took UConn sensation Paige Beckers, who, by the way, is going to play Caitlin Clark on Friday night, where the first time that Caitlin and Paige will play each other in the pros. Check out our Wanna Bet segment, by the way, while you're here on News Center Maine Plus, and you'll get our prediction on that game. So Dallas got the number 1 pick in the WNBA with Paige, number 1 pick in the NBA draft, probably likely, right? Cooper, if they don't trade it in the next 4 minutes. So Paige was asked tonight, just a couple minutes ago, about what it would be like to have the number 1 pick in both of the leagues and what Cooper would be like. So here's Paige.
For me, watching him, he just wants to win. So just stick to that. Don't listen to the outside expectations, the outside noise. Just be the Cooper Flagg that he knows he can be. Learn, be a sponge, grow, but also lead from your position, because I know he's a great player and he's got a lot of knowledge as well.
So there you have it, the number 1 with the number 1. So it's good stuff. It's rare. It's just rarefied air. Like you're seeing stuff on social media, and you're like, yesterday, he was at a Fanatics event or something, Cooper was, and he's been in New York since I think like the 21st or so. Sponsor event, all these things. But there was a picture of Allen Iverson, a video of Allen Iverson talking to some people, and then looking up and going, there he is, and walks over to make sure he gets some time with Cooper. And I'm like, what is happening right now? It's Allen Iverson.
AI.
I mean, come on. You're talking about number 1 picks in the draft, right? I mean, one of the greatest players of all time, and looking to get some time with Cooper. And you see that. And, and also, by the way, the money that comes with today's college athlete, right? Because there was, and I don't know how real it was, but there was absolute chatter anyway, maybe I come back to Duke for another year because they didn't win the national championship, because of how the season ended, because he missed the last shot in the last game and is probably driving him nuts, right? And he made tens of millions of dollars in college as a 17/18-year-old through his NIL deals. One of them, as you said, we're going to look at this. One of them is with Uber Eats, and this is what Cooper posted this morning. He's like, can't start draft day without my dunks. So it's a little Uber Eats ad where he's got his Dunkin' drink and he's got his breakfast sandwich on his bagel there, just hanging out in the room. So there was a lot of money to be made. If he stayed in college, he'd already made a lot of money. Had his endorsements lined up, Gatorade, New Balance, so on and so forth. So you think that was a real, do I really want to hold off one more year and run it back with my guys from Duke? Or was that more Duke wanted that and there was no way that was going to happen? So
it wasn't going to happen. It was like thinking he was going to stay at Nokomis for another year.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's going.
If you're the best player in the gym,
find a new gym.
All right, we're going to take another timeout. We are just about there, kids, and we're going to get to the draft in the NBA. Cooper Flagg, we'll hear his name called. We're going to go to Nokomis High School, where it all started, and where it's going to really just have a star on the top of the Christmas tree tonight. So we'll take a break. We're coming back. More Cooper Flagg coverage coming your way in just a bit.
Severe weather can happen in an instant. High winds, strong thunderstorms, hail, flooding. Be ready in an instant. Get up-to-the-date coverage on News Center Maine Plus or on the News Center Maine app. Our weather team is here to help you stay dry, stay informed, and stay safe. Your plans rely on weather, and you can rely on the News Center Maine weather team. Weather on News Center Maine is sponsored by Next Home Experience, Renewal by Anderson, and Winterport Discount Mattress and Furniture.
2024 was a fantastic year of growth for Next Home Experience, and it's all because of you. Thank you for choosing Next Home Experience for buying and selling your next home. Here's to a fantastic 2025. Get looped. Get sold. Next Home Experience.
All right, the NBA's draft coverage is just getting ready to get started. Again, there's watch parties all across our state to watch the selection get made and hear the names get called of all the young kids who are going to have their dreams realized tonight. Obviously, we're focused on Cooper Flagg. So one of the watch parties is in Falmouth at Rivalries, where they've been selling tickets for months now to benefit the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Maine, which is an important cause for the Flaggs, and this is an official Cooper Flagg watch party location. So see all the people there getting ready to watch this big moment in our state's history. Also, of course, in Newport, Cooper's hometown of his brothers, his parents, where he grew up playing that basketball game at Nokomis High School, and that is where they're having a giant party as well, sponsored by New Balance, and that's where this guy is hanging out, Sean Stackhouse, as we are just minutes here away from hearing the name that we've all wanted to hear, getting that final crescendo, and Stack, I'm guessing it's gotten a lot louder in the last 20 minutes or so.
Oh, it really has. We could really start to hear it during that last live hit, and now that we are just minutes away from hearing if Cooper Flagg is the #1 pick, as we're all expecting, and the crowd here just erupting. Now, you had mentioned a lot of the connections that Cooper Flagg has here in his hometown of Newport. It's littered with them. So many folks that are here at Nokomis High School have a close connection to him, whether that's teachers, other school staff, folks that just knew him from when he was a kid or knew his parents. They're all here to watch the excitement, and that's really what we got going on right now is excitement. We just finished up a raucous game and knockout. The winner wasn't me, unfortunately, Lee, earning a signed Cooper Flagg card. And everyone getting a free t-shirt as well. New Balance, the host and sponsor of this event. We'll give you a closer look at what these shirts are for Flag Day. You may remember this one announcing his signing with New Balance back in August of last year. These photos taken in his hometown here in Newport, where we are right now. And as we get closer to the draft, more and more excitement is happening. I'll step out of the shot just so you can get a little bit of an idea of what we're seeing. Some kids sitting on the floor. We've probably got around 200 or so here in the high school. And now we're starting to see some of that excitement. We're gonna take a closer look up to the stage, and you'll hear from me in just a few.
The very best basketball was played in the heartland of America. Yesterday, the very best basketball in a city of 700,000 turned out in Oklahoma City for the Thunder's championship parade. That was yet another amazing example of how sports can evoke enormous passion and bring people together. An amazing example of how sports can evoke enormous passion and bring people together. The Thunder were the second youngest championship team in NBA history. But what they lacked in experience they're going to be up for the unselfish play.
Now we can see Adam Silver on screen now, the NBA commissioner. That's who Cooper Flagg is expecting to have announce his name as the first pick. And we are just getting to that moment where the Mavericks will officially be on the clock. That's going to be coming momentarily. But we are just filled with excitement and anticipation. Eyes are glued to the screen, waiting to hear Cooper Flagg's name called. And we will be checking back in here very soon, but we're going to give you another live look here at the gymnasium. Keep it there. Right, no.
Welcome to a new era of NBA basketball, where every team has a shot. Which team will emerge as next season's champion? The competition begins tonight, so let's get started. The first pick in the 2025 NBA Draft belongs to the Dallas Mavericks. You have 5 minutes to make your selection.
And right there, Dallas Mavericks are officially on the clock. It sounded like there was a bit of a boo coming from the fans in New York City that are at draft night. Here in Newport, though, at Nokomis High School, there's nothing but anticipation, nothing but hope, and nothing but excitement for their hometown boy finding out where he is going to be starting his NBA career. So many other exciting names, including some teammates of Cooper Flagg, expected to go in the top 10 as well. Kaman Maluak, Con Knippel, all stars that will certainly be cheered here in Newport as well, but the one everyone's waiting to hear is Cooper Flagg. We'll be sure to keep you updated as we get closer to that #1 pick, just about 4 minutes away from Adam Silver announcing that top draft pick.
Stack. Excuse me, thank you. I'm all choked up here. About 3 minutes to go. I always wonder what is happening. Like, if the Mavericks know it's Cooper, you get 5 minutes to make the pick. What are you waiting for? Like, just as soon as they say you're on the clock, just go, oh, here you go. Like, I mean, they do it in the NFL. I don't know if they're building drama or, maybe they're waiting for the phone to ring for, a last-second trade. I can't imagine that they would do that, but I also couldn't imagine they would trade Luka Doncic. So, so 3 minutes left officially on the clock, and it's probably the longest 3 minutes in Cooper's life and his family's life as they're sitting there going, really, what are we waiting for, guys? But now, so they show the Mavericks draft room, and they're all sitting back, and they're just, like, laughing, and they're waiting. So, like, come on, get the pick in. Let's get this thing done. So, I don't know what they're waiting for. Building anticipation. TV ratings. Damn TV people. They ruin everything, right? Yeah. They're probably told, hey, listen, let's milk this for as much as we can. We got commercials we got to get in here or whatever. So, still waiting on Cooper Flagg's name to get called. As I do love the national media when they talk about Maine too. Like, you see clips and there's a picture of a moose. There's a picture of this. All right, there's going to be a picture of Cooper getting announced because the pick is in. Let's go back to Newport. Sean Stackhouse as we get ready to put a bow on this, saying, let's go.
Yeah, hey, Lee, we know that the pick is in, and now we're just anticipating when off the TV, I guess.
Yeah, the pick's been in for a little bit now, and the time is up on the clock, and the networks, again, it's a TV show, so they're milking it for all they can and getting the most out of this. They've got all their analysts analyzing the analysis. That's what they do, right? And the Mavericks are the front office having a blast, just sitting there laughing as we all sit around and wait. As we're now, it's 8:11, so come on. But Coop must be like, come on, guys. And Kelly, first of all, if you ever saw Kelly play, and I was the play-by-play announcer for the Maine women's basketball team when Kelly played there. She gets fired up, so she's probably like, enough already. Like, can we just get this thing over with? Yes. All right, here we go. Looks like the commissioner is going to walk onto the stage, and we'll actually get to see this finally happen. So let's check it out.
With the first pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg.
Right now, as the pick was just made officially, so this is where Cooper said, look at all the people that showed out there to see the Mavericks draft what they're hoping will be a stalwart for their franchise for a long time. Again, they traded their 23-year-old superstar Luka Doncic this year to the Lakers in a controversial trade, if you will, because nobody could believe they did that. So they got rid of a 23-year-old star, and they hope they're bringing in an 18-year-old star in Cooper Flagg. Cooper said he was going to be emotional. We had him on the air this morning talking about the emotions. He's like, well, I know my mom's going to bawl her eyes out. I know my older brother Hunter's going to probably cry. I'm probably going to cry. Didn't mention Ace or his dad, but you could see the emotion. Even though this isn't a surprise, this has been years in the making. They set up their entire plan for this moment. But then when it finally happens, it's like, you know what? Like, you can almost hear the exhale, right?
I almost shed a tear right there myself.
Yeah, like
that's
this
just an amazing
this
thing.
is such a cool thing.
Wow.
There's 3 different locations in Newport right now that are having parties. So yeah, it's really, really cool stuff, and a culmination of just all the hard work and sacrifice and dedication. Because one thing to be good at a sport, it's another to have a family that is willing to support that dream, and there's a lot of sacrifice for all the other siblings. For, Ace played with him, but even for the ones who didn't, like, you got to give up. You give up your personal time. You can't make it this. I got a game. Can't get here. I got a game. Costs money. But long before he's getting NIL deals, someone's got to pay for all that travel. Someone's got to pay for all those leagues and all the lessons and all the coaching. And so it's a huge sacrifice for a family to make. And certainly, in this case, it is all paying off, times 1,000 tonight for the Flagg family. And they're all on television. The whole family that showed up is all on television now, getting some props, and so it's pretty cool to see. So.
That's unbelievable. This is why,
stuff.
I feel like I'm not. This isn't real. This is happening.
It is weird that this is what we've been expecting, waiting for. We built a 2-hour show around it, and then it happens. You're like, wow, that really happened. Right?
I thought we're going to call your name there.
Yeah. I don't think I have any eligibility left. So we are going to hope to hear from Cooper as soon as possible. Obviously, he's a little bit busy, and he's highly wanted, and has a million media obligations. But our Dallas station is there, and they're hoping to catch up with him. And if they do, then we will try to get that to you. We did talk about Paige Beckers, who was the first pick for the Dallas WNBA team, and knows what it's like to be that number one pick, to have a franchise that needs a turnaround, all focused on you, and that is now where the focus shifts a little bit less. Paige is already the best player on her team. Cooper's going to have a couple, players, with Anthony Davis and with Kyrie Irving and others. He's got players to play with. Paige isn't as lucky as he is, but understands what the expectations are when you're the number one pick. So they talked to her earlier tonight, a little bit ago, about what Cooper can expect to have all that focus on him.
I'm not really huge into expectations, honestly. They exist. But for me, and I know Cooper thinks a lot in the same, of like we have expectations for ourselves and the standards we set for ourselves. And to run your own race, don't run a race of comparison of other draft picks, of the media's expectations, of anybody else's expectations except the people you really value. So do what has gotten you there. Just stick to that, stand firm in who you are, just compete to win basketball games and play with a passion.
Yeah, so there's Paige Beckers as we're watching all the things happening in New York right now where the draft is, and Mom Kelly taking all the pictures and getting ready to post on social media, and big smiles. The tears are gone. It's all smiles and celebration now, as it is in Newport, where we mentioned there are 3 different watch parties happening right now. Our Sean Stackhouse is at one of them. New Balance is behind this, and Sean, we talked a lot about Cooper could have done Nike, he could have done Adidas, he could have done anybody he wanted, and he took New Balance, and they must be pretty happy too.
Oh, they are stoked. It has been so exciting here in Newport at Nokomis High School as folks celebrate their hometown hero heading to the Dallas Mavericks. The crowd just erupted. One of them is Eddie, who is here with me. And as you mentioned, how excited folks are with New Balance. Well, we have one of them here with us. Eddie, you work for New Balance. Tell me, as an employee, what does it mean to you to see Cooper Flagg head into the NBA?
It's a big, big deal, man. This is awesome for both of us. He's a young talent coming up. He got the younger crowd that's going to follow him. Like, this is a big deal for us, man. We can't wait to work with him. We can't wait.
And Cooper is a New Balance athlete. You actually work to help put these shoes together to get to see a star like Cooper wearing them. What does that mean for you?
Oh my God, words can't describe, man. Honestly, it's a blessing to see him out there walking, wearing our product, man. Like, it's a big deal for us. It really is.
Now, as he heads to the Mavericks, is this the team you're going to be okay rooting for?
Yes, most definitely. I will, for sure.
I think we're going to see a lot of Mainers having to get their Mavericks jerseys. I know I'm going to be one of them. Lee, do you have your jersey ordered yet?
No, I wanted to get on a team first. So I got my Cooper Flagg Celtics jersey ordered for when his rookie contract's up and he comes to Boston. That's my dream, and don't take it from me. So, all right, Stack, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, that's my dream, and if I say it, it'll be out there, and maybe it'll work itself into existence. Dylan Harper, if you're interested, from Rutgers, was the number 2 pick of the draft. Okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and wrap things up as we celebrate the night and the history that was made for our state tonight. As the state of Maine can say, we have the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, Cooper Flagg.
Pinch yourself.
I know, it's crazy.
This is real.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come right back.
Severe weather can happen in an instant. High winds, strong thunderstorms, hail, flooding. Be ready in an instant. Get up-to-the-date coverage on News Center Maine Plus or on the News Center Maine app. Our weather team is here to help you stay dry, stay informed, and stay safe. Your plans rely on weather, and you can rely on the News Center Maine weather team. Weather on News Center Maine is sponsored by Next Home Experience, Renewal by Anderson, and Winterport Discount Mattress and Furniture.
2024 was a fantastic year of growth for Next Home Experience, and it's all because of you. Thank you for choosing Next Home Experience for buying and selling your next home. Here's to a fantastic 2025. Get looped, get sold. Next Home Experience.
All right, welcome back to our Capture the Flag coverage as Cooper Flagg has been captured by the Dallas Mavericks. Let's go right back to Nokomis High School where this has all got started for the Flagg family long time ago. Sean Stackhouse got some really happy fans there. Hello, sir.
Really happy fans. We're here with the Morris family, and this is the first family I've seen with Mavericks gear on already. He was just taken about 10 minutes ago. Tell me, how excited are you to see Cooper head into the NBA?
So excited, especially somebody from Maine, somebody that's local. We both teach in Maine, so we're all local. Just excited for him.
Now, you must have been pretty confident he was going to be the 1 overall pick to already have your Mavs gear, or are you just a Dallas fan?
A Dallas fan now, so feel free to send us some merch.
A Dallas fan now. How excited are you to see him scoring, and with those players on the team alongside him? Seems like he's in a good position to succeed.
Yeah, oh yeah, I am super excited for him. It seems like it's his whole life, and we're rooting for him.
And just how fun was it to get to be in this environment here in Maine?
It was wonderful seeing all the kids. My boys are here. Just seeing how family-centered, family-oriented everything is. And it just shows what a wonderful place Cooper grew up in.
Well, Morris family, thank you so much. The first of many Mavericks fans that are going to be showing up here in the Pine Tree State. Lee, we'll send things back to you.
Okay, first of all, I love that guy who's already trying to get free stuff. Like, that is the most main thing I've seen tonight. He's like, yeah, I love the Mavericks all of a sudden now, so send me some merch. Oh, I love that. That's so great. We did go earlier a couple times to Falmouth, in the rivalries located in Falmouth, because they have an official watch party there benefiting the Ronald McDonald Charities. So they are good. There's a Cooper Flagg jersey right there. So they have been having a great time all night long as people bought tickets to benefit that great charity that, again, the Flagg family supports. And everybody really just smiles on their faces. And again, this isn't a surprise. There's no like, holy cow, I can't believe it happened. But it does seem a little surreal. That's something we've been waiting for so long and anticipating and talking about ad nauseum. And I'm sure you guys are like, really? More Cooper Flagg? But this is a special thing, and it's never happened before. And it's I like the ski hat. And it's never happened. It's never happened before. So it's a very, very, very big deal. And yeah, we should be celebrating this. It's very cool for our state to get that much attention for Cooper and his family. So now, I don't know if I can root for the Mavs, but at least they're not in the East.
Until the
NBA
championship.
At least they're not in the East. So I mean, I guess if I find myself able to root for Duke, I can find a way to root for Dallas as well. So, all right, what do you want to do, Isaac?
I'll say this, as a coach and as an athlete, you get so focused on process and the work, and now that the result is here, the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft, the release of emotions, even for me, is just I'm getting goosebumps here just thinking about what they must be going through. So it just, again, to Nick's earlier point about inspiring young people, this is just a validation that hard work does pay off, and just to keep grinding, and what an amazing thing we're dealing with right now.
It's very, very cool as we watch some more videos of how we got to this. This is when he played high school and he left Nokomis, went to Mount Verde, the private school that is a basketball factory, if you will, and had some great success there, winning a national championship with some of his current, now former Duke teammates as well. They were already together at that point. So, yeah, and he, as soon as Cooper's name was announced, too, obviously he hugged his family first, and then, as I saw, reached out to at least 3 of his former now Duke teammates, and celebrated a little bit with them before he even got to the stage. So he has been, again, by all accounts, just a consummate teammate who always puts his people first, and made sure that each one of them on his night was acknowledged before he even got up on the stage and put on the Mavericks hat. So just kind of, again, a testament to what kind of a kid we're talking about here as well, which is, when you're from Maine, being a good person is equally, if not more important, than whatever your skill set happens to be. So
absolutely.
It's good stuff. Isaac, okay. So we did tell you about Isaac, by the way, is our producer, and he's fantastic. And so thank you, Isaac Lucan, for being here. And I know he had to leave his wife Hannah and their new baby that they just had to come spend time with us. So Isaac and I go way back, so it's good to put the band back together. So appreciate you, Isaac, and all your work on this. But we were in Falmouth a couple times earlier tonight for that party. So this is what it looked like when the name got announced. What it looked like in Newport at Nokomis High School, where the people who play for Nokomis High School are going to look at that gym floor and be like, this is where Cooper was sweating when he was 13 years old. Like, I mean, this is going to be a story for the ages, and won't be long before he'd probably retire his high school jersey and name the gym after him or something. So, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff all across the board. Smiles everywhere. Again, if you care about anybody besides Cooper, and if you're watching us, maybe you don't, but VJ Edgecombe, guard out of Baylor, is the third pick. Interestingly, though, this next pick, the fourth pick, the Charlotte Hornets, with all those Maine connections, is where Con Knippel has been projected to go, Cooper's teammate at Duke. And one of his probably his better friends on that team. So wouldn't that be cool if they were at 1-4? Con would get to stay in North Carolina. So
incredible.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't get the video of my reaction, Lee. You may not have me back on the show anytime soon. I was so excited when it happened.
Yeah, no, it's all good stuff. All right, I think that our gas tank is officially empty, and we got you to 8:30, so that's pretty good. Coach Furbush, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here and witnessing this monumental moment with me and your perspective on what this means for our state and why it's such a big deal and so important, not just from a basketball sense, but for our state. So I appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys for finding out how to download New Center Maine Plus, because that's not easy to do. At least not for old people like me. All the kids can do it, but I was like, but I did it, and it's worth it, and you got here. So we appreciate you for that. Cooper Flagg from the great state of Maine was the #1 pick in the NBA draft, forever etched in history as just the greatest of all time now, officially from our state. So I cannot wait to watch this 18-year-old for the next, God willing, 20 years, have an amazing career in basketball and do really great things. All right, thank you for being here for Capture the Flag. Enjoy the night. Go to bed with a smile on your face. The great state of Maine was well represented tonight.